Today, we're going to answer the question, what happens if you stop eating sugar for 30 days? Now, there are so many reasons why you might want to do this. You know, some of them are because you want to lose weight. Others might be, you have a health condition like diabetes or pre-diabetes. Or you just want to try it out because you've seen so many videos about it online. So in today's video, we're going to talk about what happens when you do that. Let's start with the first 3 days. First of all, you may feel tired and fatigued because you know, sugar is kind of like the quick energy source that our body craves. But unfortunately, it gives us this huge crash after consuming it. And so you'll probably notice that your energy levels are lower than usual. But that's okay, because by day 2 or 3, your body starts producing more ketones, and you actually feel better. And then number 2 is you'll probably feel hungry, especially during the first few days. This is because your body isn't used to getting its energy from fat yet. It's still craving those carbs that you would normally eat, right? The bread, pasta, cereal, biscuits, waffles, pancakes, muffins, sodas, and juice. But don't worry, this will go away once your body adjusts to burning fat instead. And a good way to help curb those cravings is to drink a bunch of water. In fact, a recent study showed that drinking water can actually reduce hunger pangs and help you not snack mindlessly. The third thing that may happen during the first 3 days is you may feel irritable and grouchy. That's because sugar is a mood stabilizer. It helps stabilize your blood sugar, and when you remove it, your blood sugar drops, and that affects your mood. But again, this only lasts for the first couple of days. So let's move on to week 1. If you're still doing well at this point, congratulations, because most people quit by now. You should really be proud of yourself. But here's what may happen during week 1. You may start to lose weight, and you may start to feel much better overall. A lot of people who do the 30-day sugar detox, they lose between 7 to 10 pounds. So that's pretty cool, right? But in addition to that, you may also find that your skin clears up. Maybe you have less acne. Your joint pain goes away. You sleep better. Your focus improves, and you have fewer cravings. All of this is because you're no longer eating processed foods, which contain added sugars. However, this is when the next challenge comes around. It's called the sugar crash, and this usually happens around the midpoint of your detox, when your body has already adapted to burning fat for fuel, and you feel great. And then bam, out of nowhere, you have this big setback, and you start craving sugar like crazy. Your willpower is low, your self-confidence is low, and you just want to throw in the towel. But don't do it, because this is just a temporary phase that will pass. And you need to stay strong, because by week 2 and 3, you're going to feel amazing. This is when you'll experience a surge in energy, better cognitive function, improved mental clarity, and a whole lot more. This is also when your body will start to tap into something called the glucose fat burner system, where it uses both glucose and fat to produce energy. This is opposed to the beginning of the detox, where your body was only using fat to produce energy. But now that it's been adapted to burning both fat and glucose, you have more energy available to you. As far as what happens to your body when you stop eating sugar for 30 days, well, these are the things you can expect. So the first thing is your body is gone to get rid of all the toxins that were stored in your fat cells. These toxins are called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs, and they form when you eat sugar and refined foods. They bind to your collagen and other proteins in your body, and they cause damage. But when you stop eating sugar, your body starts to break down these toxins and get rid of them through your urine, through your bowel movements, and through your skin. So this is why it's so important to stay hydrated when you're doing this detox, because you want to flush all those toxins out of your system. Another thing that will happen is your body will become more insulin sensitive. Insulin resistance is a major cause of many health problems, including obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. So when you stop eating sugar, your body becomes more sensitive to insulin, which means that your blood sugar stays level and you have less inflammation. Next, you're going to start to repair your gut. When you eat sugar, you feed the bad bacteria in your gut. This creates an imbalance that leads to leaky gut syndrome and inflammation. But when you stop eating sugar, you starve off the bad bacteria and feed the good bacteria, which helps heal your gut lining and reduce inflammation. This is why it's so important to eat foods that contain prebiotics and probiotics when you're doing this detox. Prebiotics are a type of fiber that feeds the good bacteria in your gut. Probiotics are live bacteria that are beneficial for your health, so make sure you're eating enough of both of these when you're doing this detox. Another thing that will happen is your body will start to produce more ketones. Ketones are an alternative source of energy for your brain and other organs. When you stop eating sugar, your body starts to burn fat for fuel instead of glucose. This produces ketones that can be used by your brain instead of glucose. Ketones are a much cleaner source of fuel, and they produce less oxidative stress and free radicals. So this is why it's so important to eat a low-carbohydrate diet when you're doing this detox. The fewer carbs you eat, the more ketones your body will produce. Another benefit is that you'll reduce insulin levels. Insulin is a hormone that helps regulate blood sugar. When you eat sugar, your insulin levels spike, which can lead to insulin resistance and diabetes. But when you stop eating sugar, your insulin levels drop back down to normal, which helps improve your metabolism and reduce the risk of chronic diseases. You'll also reduce inflammation. Chronic inflammation is a root cause of many diseases, including cancer, heart disease, and arthritis. When you eat sugar, it causes inflammation in your body. But when you stop eating sugar, the inflammation goes away because sugar is no longer irritating your cells and triggering the immune system. Another thing that will happen is you will have more energy. When you eat sugar, it gives you a quick burst of energy, followed by a crash. But when you stop eating sugar, you have a more steady source of energy that lasts throughout the day. This is because your body is now burning fat for fuel instead of glucose. Fat produces ketones, which are a much cleaner source of fuel, and they don't cause the same energy crash that glucose does. So this is why it's so important to eat healthy fats when you're doing this detox. The more healthy fat you eat, the more ketones your body will produce, and the more energy you'll have. Another benefit is that you'll have a reduced risk of chronic diseases. As I mentioned earlier, chronic inflammation is a root cause of many diseases, including cancer, heart disease, and arthritis. Well, when you stop eating sugar, you reduce inflammation in your body, which reduces your risk of developing these chronic diseases. In addition to that, stopping eating sugar can also help improve your blood pressure, your blood sugar levels, and your cholesterol levels. I hope this video is helpful. If it is, please share it with your friends and family. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.